Good morning, CBOQ family of churches. I'm Jacqueline Solomon, and I'm the Communications Associate here at CBOQ. And we're starting something new this week. We're doing a weekly update where we give you a little video to tell you about upcoming events and highlight a few resources, and also share with you some mini stories of some of the inspirational things that are happening in our family of churches. And while this isn't the way we were hoping to begin, we do need to take just a moment to acknowledge that this has been a difficult few days for many members of our Canadian Baptist family. Recent events have really highlighted the ugliness of racism in our culture. And so I just want to take a moment to say what should be abundantly obvious, that racism has no place in the Canadian Baptist family. We are one people in Christ, and as a critical part of our Canadian Baptist family, Black Lives Matter to God and to us. And so I hope that you can find time to pray for one another and to spend some time reflecting on how we can be truly one family in Christ. Now, for a few things I wanted you to be aware of. The first is we are hoping that you're continuing to pray for your sister church, even though you may have some difficulties connecting right now. Prayer for one another is a core part of our values as CBOQ, so we do hope that you're able to continue doing that. Secondly, if you are a CBOQ pastor, you are invited to join the pastor's prayer time. It's every Tuesday at 11 o'clock in the morning, and if you need information about that, please feel free to go to baptist.ca/COVID-19. If you are on social media, we want to encourage you to check out our daily Quarant Tips, where we give little tips and tricks for pastors and leaders to lead their church through the pandemic. And finally, this Thursday, there's an upcoming online free webinar for small group leaders who want to be equipped in discipleship and spiritual practices to really help your community to connect well, again, during this pandemic. So, last but not least, I spoke to somebody this week, and I'm very excited to share with you what's happening in their association. Hello, and I am just about to talk to Lola Mather-Dyer, who is the lead pastor at Springford Baptist Church, and she has been gathering with other pastors in her association for prayer. But rather than having me tell you about it, I'm here with Lola, and I would like it if she would tell us a little bit about it. So Lola, would you share with us a little bit about how the group started and what it means to you?
Absolutely. So actually, the background of the group is that we have been meeting for quite some time in person. We would meet the last Wednesday of each month for lunch and sharing some of our prayer concerns and having an opportunity to pray together. And so, of course, in recent time, when that was no longer possible, we opted to continue to meet through Zoom and to meet for prayer. And that has actually expanded to where it's now twice a month. So we now meet the first Monday of each month for about an hour for prayer, and through Zoom.
So tell me, what has that meant to you as we're all sort of dealing with the pandemic realities?
Well, as a matter of fact, one of the prayers that I personally have had very intentionally in coming into this really unusual season with the pandemic is wanting to be closer with God. That's been a consistent prayer. And so my experience has been that actually when we come together as a group to pray, that although we are separated by distance, we come closer to each other, but also closer to God when we are praying together. So that's been really significant.
Mm-hmm. And would you say that the pastors in your region are facing similar challenges, or does everybody come with a slightly different group of things they're dealing with?
Yes, I would say that a lot of the challenges actually are similar, and I think that's one of the things that we have all recognized is we've already developed a real level of trust with each other because we have met together over time, but certainly I have seen that we have a lot of similar things that we're facing and just trying to understand how to best respond. I mean, an example would be even around funerals and conducting funerals, and trying to do that in the restrictions that we face, and trying to still offer support and comfort. But now it's moved into even thinking about how we will be able to look at meeting together again, and what that even might be. So, yes.
Yeah, well, definitely. And I guess if there's one thing that you would recommend to your CBOQ family or to other pastors that you've learned through this experience, what would that thing be?
Hmm. Well, I already was really convinced of the effectiveness and the power of prayer, but certainly I continue to really be impressed about how important that is. And so I would really encourage other CBOQ pastors to find people that they can pray with. It may be other pastors that are nearby that they would have something in common with. There's also the opportunity, actually, our CBOQ, our wider CBOQ, has prayer once a week on Tuesday mornings at 11. That's an option as well. That,
yeah,
that
and a very nice plug. Thank you.
Yeah, there. Well, I've actually been connecting with that on a regular basis as well. But I will say that the smaller group, and the fact that it's people that are more familiar with each other, and just each other's communities of faith, that really does give us a chance to pray together in what I have experienced to be a really meaningful way. Yeah.
That's great. Now, just as a last thing, and this is a bit of a curveball I'm throwing at you, so I apologize, but as people are watching this, is there one thing that you would request prayer for?
I think that that certainly, what I'd indicated earlier, wanting to be closer with God,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I'm wanting to be attentive to whatever it is that God is wanting to teach all of us during this time, and certainly I include myself in that.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much, Lola, for sharing, and I'm excited to be able to share this with our CBOQ family.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Great. So that's it for this week. Make sure that you subscribe on our channel so that you can continue to get all of these updates. We hope they'll be helpful for you. And you can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, where we'll be seeing you soon.